Hey y'all, got some proof here why Marvel Comics isn't doing so good right now in comic books in general, and just more proof about why SJW politics and buzzword. Y'all know I don't really care about comic books or really read comic books anyway, but you know what? I'm gonna go on for about 10 minutes and act like I do. Now, right here we're looking at this website that's got some proof about Captain Marvel calls out movie trolls in Avengers comic. Now, like I said, y'all know I don't read no trashy comic books, but you know what I do read? I read trashy websites for proof about trashy comic books. So let's go ahead and get into this. This one comes today from We Got This Confirmed. Alright, before Captain Marvel debuted in cinemas around the world, going on to earn a cool $1.1 billion in the process, a very vocal corner of the internet placed the target on you know what I'm saying, man. But anyway, there's this little article right here, man, and look, y'all know I don't care about comic book, but look, there's 2 panels in here in this little comic book that I'm gonna go on to about for like, you know, maybe about another, I don't know, I think we got about 8 minutes left here. But oh my god, you see that? Look at that. Oh man, there's Captain Marvel. She's fighting the Orange Man. He's on fire. He got his orange hair. He's an orange man. And he says, stand down, Avenger. You are outside your depths here and your heat tolerance. And you know what? Then she responds with, sure thing. Why don't you tell me a smile while you're at it, Fire Lord? Actually, that wouldn't be such a and she punched him in the face, man. She punched him in the, and there's the Orange Man. Oh my god, Orange Man. You know what? She gotta be talking about the Phantom Menace here. I know she's talking about us in the Phantom Menace. And that's what this is all about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go on for about another, this isn't Captain Marvel. This is Avengers 29. Yeah, this is Avengers episode 29, issue 29. You all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know I don't read no trashy comic books. I only read trashy websites and bring you, just all these clickbaity videos. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, look right here in the, oh my god! Captain Marvel, she punched a dude that's orange and he's on fire. He's the Orange Man. This is obviously Donald Trump. This is supposed to be our president. And she's talking about the Phantom Menace here. Yeah, she's talking about the Phantom Menace. Can you believe that? Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so cringe. This is so cringe. This is what people read. People read this kind of cringe. Oh man, what's going on around here in the world today with all these Jenners and stuff, man? It's our Phantom Menaces. Yeah, man, Phantom Menaces, we rule, man, and that's what this whole article's about the Phantom Menaces, and it's on We Got This Confirmed, so you know it must be true because they read comic books, so I don't have to. They write articles about comic books they probably didn't even read anyway, but you know what? I read them. Yeah, man. Can you guys believe that? Let me know, man, what you guys think about this, man. Captain Marvel obviously sitting here talking about the Phantom Menaces, and this is just wrong. We can't let this be true. It just lets you know that we're hashtag winning Tiger Blood and all kinds of buzzwords. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for being here on Dorks and Dolts, man. Y'all are the fucking best, man. Yeah. So today I want to talk a little bit about something, about some clickbait videos and just things out there that I've been seeing lately. And you guys know how this goes, the YouTube game it works, you gotta make provocative headlines, you gotta make provocative thumbnails and stuff like that for people to click on. But, and a lot of these things, guys, like I do my best not to do that kinds of stuff here on the channel. But plenty of people out there don't care about those kinds of things, misleading audiences and stuff like that, trying to entice people into watching their videos, clicks, views, all that stuff. I get it. I have, I don't normally worry about people's content and things like that. I'm not here to say what people should and shouldn't do on their channels. But there's been this kind of, this recent, influx, I guess, or is that the right word? Talking about a lot of these clickbait news and sites out there. And recently, what I was noticing was, a while back, there was this rumor going around that the Captain Marvel 2 film was getting, they announced its writer is going to be Kelly Sue DeConnick, who is actually somebody who is actually in the comic book industry and has written the current iteration of Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel. She's the one that kind of brought this character to prominence in the comic books. And you know, a lot of people went out there and ran with this story. This was it was a story that was put out there by one of these clickbait websites out there called Sausage Roll, and subsequently after that, you know, there's like 2 other websites that went and ran with this story. Nothing new, I mean, business as usual. But then I noticed there was a couple of content creators out there that went and made videos on this stuff. And I actually found out about this through some of those content creators. One of them being Entertainment Hacker, who in his video actually gave credit to Josiah from Josiah Rises, and who is also a member of Geeks and Gamers. And they were talking about this clickbait article out there done by this site called Sausage Roll. And I've kind of talked a little bit about here on the channel now, like, these people, like, they don't care about comic books, they don't care about these movies, yet they still make videos on it. Again, none of my real concern or anything like that. But the thing is they go and make these videos, and then later they find out, because they couldn't take 5 minutes, not even that, to put in a little bit of research to find out if what they're talking about is true. And the problem with this is not so much that, but then they come out and defend this kind of this kind of clickbait trash with the fact of, you know, like, when it comes out that this article isn't true, you know, and they follow up with videos like oh, hey, like, you know, like, not all of us do this full time, like, we have you know, we've got full-time jobs, we've got kids and things like that, we don't have time to research. But then later you have the time to research and, you know, make the corrections and make a video that it just kind of explains away the fact that you didn't have 2 minutes to put into going in and looking at these sources and finding out whether it's real or not. Now, this is a problem. Now, me myself, I have children. You know, I've got 3 children. I run my own business. I'm self-employed and things like that. So the second I seen these articles and this BS stuff going around, I mean, I got on the internet and I looked it up, and, you know, less than 2 minutes later, I'm sitting there reading the actual article where it came out of. So I mean, I guess that's kind of the thing is, you know, people go out there and they make these clickbait videos and things like that to get views. And hey, I'm not knocking anybody's game. You do what you got to do, you know, here on YouTube. But the thing is it perpetuates a problem that we have going on out there. For one, I mean, you know, making excuses for running bullshit stories is just ridiculous. You're making excuses for why you can't put in a couple of minutes worth of, you know, of effort to make your video. I mean, it takes about 2 minutes. Literally, it took me a couple minutes to type in what they were talking about on the internet, look it up, and read the story. You know, it's not that hard to do. And to come out and defend that, like, oh, hey, well, you know, like, hey, I didn't know, but hey, it could be true. Hey, it could be true. I mean, I could do that with lots of scenarios and say that, you know, that this might be true or that might be true and different things like that. And then I was on Mad Max the Mandalorian's channel the other day, and they were talking about this video that was done on Geeks and Gamers by Josiah Rises. And so I was sitting there watching the video, and you guys know I talk a lot about comic books here on the channel, and that was the funny thing. So I had to go look into this, you know, and they did this video talking about Captain Marvel and how the, you know, this latest comic book of Avengers issue 29 or something like that was taking shots at the Fandom Menace. And it was all, you know, like, these people obviously don't read comic books. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They literally got on there and showed you a screenshot of you know, one of these clickbait websites that probably read this comic book and made an article about these 2 little panels that were in the comic book. And that's essentially all it was these 2 panels. And we get, you know, this 10-minute video about these 2 panels, and of course, naturally, this comic book is making a reference to some things a while back when the Captain Marvel movie came out, and everybody was talking about Brie Larson. Oh, she's not smiling, you know, and this kind of crap on there. And it, you know, in this comic book, it was talking about that situation where people saying, you know, she needs to smile, more, and all that kind of stuff. So they put a reference in there, and this article on, you know, on this clickbait website is like, you know, Captain Marvel comic, you know, calls out recent trolls, online trolls, about this thing about her smiling, and she's sitting there fighting this guy. I didn't read the comic book, honestly. I don't read Avengers, but I'll be honest with you, I do read the Captain Marvel series going on right now, and I'll probably bring some reviews on that here on the channel pretty soon. But in this comic book, you know, this headline, you know, is talking. She's fighting this guy, I can't remember his name, Firelord or something. And in this video, they go on. This is how far and ridiculous people go on to try to take ownership of something, to try to claim it as theirs. Josiah goes on in this video talking about, oh, you know, they're talking about us. They're talking about the Fandom Menace and wanting to own this thing. You know, about the fact that, you know, a lot of people in the Fandom Menace were vocal about that kind of stuff. You know, when Captain Marvel came out, like, oh, she don't smile enough and all these kinds of things. You know, whatever. It's whatever, big deal. But you want to, like, they want to come in and, you know, take ownership of this and be like, yeah, that's right. That was us. That was us who was saying that. Us in the Fandom Menace. Yeah, we'll own up to that. They're taking shots at us in this comic book because I'm sure that's exactly what they were doing. Is they're like, oh, this is just for you guys in the Fandom Menace. So today I got this other one that I want to talk about here, that I was, you know, just kind of reading through this comic book, and I was like, I wonder if they'll be willing to own up to this too. Are you out there watching, Josiah? Geeks and Gamers? Are you watching? Did you see this comic book? I mean, not that I expect it, or that really, you know, think that any of you guys read comic books, just judging by the videos you guys are doing talking about comic books, but are you going to own up to this one? This one comes from Amazing Spider-Man issue number 38, being written by Nick Spencer. And kind of what's going on here is J. Jonah Jameson has been he's been reached out to by one of the people from his past here, and God, I can't even remember what her name is right here off the top, but this is Winters. God, what is her name? She used to work with J. Jonah Jameson back in the day during I don't know what comic book run it was, but so she used to work with J. Jonah Jameson, and she's going to him, offering him a job. Okay, and see, and that's the thing. Like, I didn't read any of that past stuff, you know. And I'm willing to admit what I do and don't know. But she's going to J. Jonah Jameson and offering him this job because J. Jonah Jameson, he now knows the identity of Spider-Man. He knows it's Peter Parker, and largely he's kind of been working for Peter Parker to kind of keep him protected, if you will. Well, he's doing this podcast style thing now, and you know, he's getting a little bit older, so he's no longer doing the Daily Bugle and the newspaper. So in this issue number 38. He's going in to do this new job, and he's being asked to come into this thing right here by one of his people who had previously actually worked with. And so he's sitting here, and she's going through this process of telling exactly how these how their news cycle works. And so she's bringing him in, and she's explaining this, and she's like, okay, because he's commenting on how there's a bunch of millennials there, and you know, all these young kids who can't possibly know about the news and all these things. So she's walking him through some of the headquarters there and saying, okay, like, hey, what story are you working on here? And one of the people here, and I'll show you guys this here on screen, says, you won't believe this shocking proof Captain America is still Hydra. And Jameson turns around and says, Winters, if you have actual evidence of something like that. And she says, of course I don't. The article's mostly repurposed material anyway. But here's the thing. When people see a headline like that, they just can't help themselves. They'll click it and read it. But that's just the start of the cycle. The Cap haters and the conspiracy theorists will get a hold of it and approvingly forward it to their audiences. Haha, I knew it! Retweet! And we see, you know, one of the bad guys here retweeting this. And she says, but the real hits come from the supporters, the folks who are outraged by how we could ever publish such a thing. They'll quote it with repudiation, and if we're lucky, maybe even leave a few angry comments on the article itself. And we see Winter Soldier here saying, you guys are big jerks! Cap is a hero! She goes on to say, it cycles like that for a day or two. And J. Jonah Jameson says, Nora! Oh, that's her name, Nora Winters. He says, Nora, that is... She says, just the start.
come on, people, sound off with your stories. And then the next thing here that we see is these different people here that work on the staff. It's so funny because these people say, the one of them says, people are earning millions selling their souls to Mephisto. Here's how. Which it's funny because this writer, he actually looks a little bit like Matthew Rosenberg. It's kind of funny. And the next one we go to here is this girl saying, going to Krakoa is easy with this one simple trick. And it's funny because this girl looks like probably like the comic book version of Leia Williams. And then we get to the last one here where the guy is shouting out his headline, is your boyfriend a Skrull? He is if he does these 6 things. And it's funny because then we get this one, and the guy writing the story looks like Chip Zdarsky. Now, I'm not sure. I'm sure this is somewhat probably kind of intentional and whatnot, but I just thought this was kind of funny. And she goes on, she says, not so soft now, are they? This is our army, and they do not take prisoners. They are young and hungry, so they barbecue the sacred cows. They will do anything, say anything, spin anything to get that sweet, sweet traffic. And remember, they learned it from watching you, Dad. Because, you know, he's that's kind of what he did, was he always, you know, J. Jonah Jameson kind of made his career talking about these provocative things and stuff out there, you know, getting these like clickbait headlines. He was the king of the clickbait before that. And I just think it's kind of funny that I seen this in this this Amazing Spider-Man issue number 38 being written by Nick Spencer. I thought it was kind of funny because, you know, I doubt we're going to hear any stories from Josiah or Geeks and Gamers about this. Are they going to own up to this? And the thing is I'll tell you they're not, because 1, they don't read comic books. 2, what they do read is, you know, they don't read comic books because they're full of SJW propaganda, but you know, they'll go and read trashy websites like We Got This Covered and stuff like that to read about comic books, not to actually read the comic books. Where, you know, if they actually read them, they'd probably get maybe a few giggles and maybe be able to take a look in the mirror. But I don't know. I guess that's just if you ask me. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, to me, it pretty much sounds like that's exactly who they're talking about. But are you guys gonna own up to it this time? Are you gonna own up to it, Josiah? Entertainment Hacker? Are you gonna own up to it? I don't know. I'm waiting. I'll be waiting to see the video. But I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you know, and that's the thing. Like I said, guys, I'm not here to knock anybody's content or what they do. I just seen this. I was reading Amazing Spider-Man issue number 38 that came out this week, and I seen this, and I was just kind of laughing, and it made me think of, you know, those videos that I seen by Entertainment Hacker, by Josiah Rises, and how people and how it's actually really, and even just more than just these 2 guys. It's not just these 2 guys that do that. You know, there's plenty of people here in the YouTube sphere that do that. You know, like a story happens, and you got to make a video about it. You got to have the breaking story. But there's got to come a time where, you know, like, how much are you willing to sell yourself, your integrity, and things like that? Going with these clickbaits, just these clickbait articles and things like that are meant to try to get you to trigger you into a reaction. You know what I mean? I think enough people are hip and wise to the game now, but yet we still see it happening. And I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was kind of funny, and this kind of made me think of that all that situation and stuff that was going down. Because, you know, like I said, these people don't read comic books, so I don't think that they're going to make a video about it. But I figured, you know, hey, instead of them getting all those hate click views, why not me, right? Why not me? Why not me make that provocative thumbnail with that provocative headline and get those clickbait views for the same thing? Hey, 2 can play that game, or 3 or 400,000. A lot of us can do it. But anyway, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video. I just thought it was kind of funny as I was reading this comic book and I seen that, and you know, we're not going to hear anything about it, you know, but, you know, it just makes me wonder, if you want to own up to the Captain Marvel smile thing, are you willing to own up to I guess what Mad Max would call the hate access, those hate clicks? Nah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny myself.